Hi, my name is Carrie Joe, and I'm the outreach coordinator for Bridges East.
And then I'm Allison with the Kingsport Times News. Thank you all for being here today.
My name's Andrew Metcalf, and I'm the director of Bridges East, and I'm an interpreter. Hi, my name is Sydney, and I'm the empowerment coordinator for Bridges East, and I'm deaf.
Awesome. Well, just to start off, give me a little bit of background on Bridges East and what you all do.
Bridges East was started in 2023, but we're really under Bridges for the Deaf and Hard of Hearing in Nashville, which was started in 1927. So we're getting close to 100 years of Bridges in the state of Tennessee, and we're really excited about that. But Bridges East was started at the request of the deaf community. They asked us to set up Bridges East because we needed help here, needed services, needed many different things, and it's just really, really great so far in the just a little bit over 1 year that we've been here.
And what are some examples of the programs and services that you all offer?
Sure. I mean, we have a wide range of things, really from birth all the way to adult. We have one program called Little Aces. That's for deaf children 0 to 5. It focuses on language acquisition and stopping language deprivation. And we're focusing on some youth programs and different things like that. We also have some adult education, adult outreach, empowerment that involves just a little bit of social work. And, of course, we have interpreting services for the deaf and hard of hearing. And we also have an educational interpreting development program. So we have so many different things.
So that was actually one of the questions that I was going to ask about is how does Bridges East coordinate interpreting services for the Tri-Cities?
Sure. We are contacted by different businesses, can be doctors' offices, schools, colleges, really anywhere that people go. They'll contact us and say, hey, we need a sign language interpreter. We have a customer, we have a client, we have a patient that needs an interpreter, and they'll ask us to go, and we'll interpret. And because it's under the Americans with Disabilities Act, the ADA, so all these different places are required to have some kind of sign language interpreter, and most of them don't have an interpreter on staff, so they'll call us, and we'll go, and we'll help, and then we'll get done and go to our next appointment. So we have a website where people can request interpreters, or they can call us, or even if they just have questions, if they need an interpreter, they can contact us, and we'll help them, show them what to do.
And I know that ETSU has a sign language program, but I saw on y'all's website that you also offer ASL classes. I just wanted to learn more about that and see what you all offer.
Sure, absolutely. And our classes are more community, just for people to learn, maybe if they have a deaf friend, or if they're just curious, they want to learn sign language. Maybe they don't know any deaf people and they want to learn sign language. It's not like for credit. ETSU has an ASL program for college credit, and they do a good job there. Ours is community. I'd say we're probably more fun, but we don't get credit, but you get to learn from deaf teachers. We actually have a class starting soon, September 10th, and we still have some spots available. So if anybody's interested in joining, you look at our website or our Facebook page, and they can sign up. It starts on September 10th in Johnson City. And it's really fun. We have some good teachers. Carrie Joe's going to be there helping to teach too. So it's really fun. It's really fun. And then we have ASL 2, ASL 3. So you can keep going after the first class if you're still interested.
Well, one of the things you mentioned was that Bridges East started about a year ago. So what impact have you seen Bridges East have on the community during that year?
We have a lot of events for the community. We have, do you want me to voice for you? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay. We do different community events, and we set up like picnics and bowling events for the deaf community. We have putt-putt. We go out to eat together. That's just sort of different things that we do. And then also we teach sign language classes and to the community, trying to get them involved with the deaf and socialize and learn more about our culture. I would just say from what we know, the deaf community, and I just moved here just this year, so I haven't been back long. I was born and grew up here, but I've been away and I've moved back home here. But before, we didn't have Bridges at all, and now since we have Bridges East, because I've experienced Bridges in Nashville, where we have a really growing community here that really wants to have good services, and because we asked, the community said, "Hey, Bridges, we need some help here. We would like a Bridges East," because I would been here, for a while, and we didn't really have anything like that. So the services have just really been awesome so far. Yeah, I agree with what they say, and it just really the impact is more availability of interpreters, more things provided. We also have, I'm going to say, we have the two deaf staff here have outreach coordinator and deaf empowerment coordinator. We've never had deaf staff in this area before. It's always been just interpreters interpreting and then helping on the side, which is not technically our job, but we always do it. But it's nice to have deaf staff taking up that role, because of course they understand the situation even better than a hearing person could.
Well, what are some of your hopes for the future of the organization as it continues to grow?
Well, for one thing, we're just really excited just to see it grow, and all the people asking for interpreters, and just the expansion of deaf people taking the initiative and using their rights for getting interpreters and different things and getting services they had. We're also looking forward to, hopefully, because right now we don't have a building. We're sort of working from home, working from the car, in pocket a lot. We're on Zoom a lot for things, but be nice if we could have a building sometime soon. So we're looking forward to that, maybe having an office somewhere, a place where we can have events and have deaf people come and visit. If they need help with anything, they can just pop in and we can help them, or just events and different kinds of things. And she's saying, and we can provide more service, because right now we're a little bit limited because we're just from home, because we don't really have a place exactly, because we don't have like a place to have like youth events or senior citizen events. But that'd be really nice to have a building. That's something we're looking forward to. We're also looking forward to have more events, because we do concerts, and it's really exciting because before we did this year, we've interpreted like over 10 concerts this year. So that's new for us in this area. We have never had the ability to have interpreters for that many concerts, so that's exciting to see.
Well, I know that you have had a presence in the region interpreting for a while, and I know that you said that you are from this area, grew up around here. What changes have you seen within the deaf community for this region in the time you've been here?
I guess when I was growing up here, it felt like there just wasn't really many services. We had some interpreters, like I had interpreters at school, and it was probably, at best, there was just a minimum, but there was no deaf churches here, there was no deaf events in this area, so you just felt kind of isolated and alone. I'm not complaining, I was fine, but it's just, you felt sort of isolated. And now with Bridges East being set up, we're just really excited because we know that we can pull in people and we can get people together. And I think that's what Bridges East does. We pull people together. We have picnics, we have bowlings, we pull people in. And, because it's a really rural area, and being able to get everybody together and do things at the same time is really nice. And I think that's really awesome. And, not just the interpreting services, which is great because we have more of that, but also the services we provide and the fellowship and the connection.
Hi! Guess what? This month is Deaf Awareness Month, and Bridges East, we're hosting a Deaf Awareness Picnic. Bridges East is going to have games, we're going to have bingo, we're going to have some door prizes. You don't want to miss this. Be with us here at Bridges East tomorrow to celebrate Deaf Awareness Month.
Well, my next question is, what would you like both the hearing and deaf communities to know about your organization? I know those messages can be different, but just what would you like people to know about your organization?
I would say to the hearing population, that that we're here to help. We're here because many don't realize how many deaf people are in this area, just because it's like it's an invisible thing, and a disability invisible. You don't see it. You can go into Walmart and there'll be a deaf person there, and you won't know that they're deaf till you try to talk with them. So people think, oh, there's not many deaf people here. There's a lot of deaf people. I'd say we probably have more. Yeah, and we've grown. Deaf people are moving here. Yeah, so there's a lot of deaf people here that people don't realize, and a lot of places, I'd say businesses, things don't realize that they have to provide interpreters for certain. If it's like a public event or different things, just following the ADA, they have to provide interpreters. So it's good to just be aware of what's required before it happens, because a lot of times something will happen and a deaf person will show up and they'll be like, oh no, I have to provide an interpreter, what? But it's really cool to know that we have this available here, and we're here whenever they need us. They call us. A lot of times it's to begin at the last minute, and we can send an interpreter, and it just makes everything sort of work out smoothly. For the deaf community, what do you think would be good for the deaf community to know about our organization? I think just let them know that we're here to help. Whatever your needs are, those can be help with filling out forms, applications, maybe help with getting a job, maybe an interview process, helping you to find answers for your medical care or Social Security, or just helping you just find answers to whatever you need. And we're just here for that and anything you need. So basically, we're here for whatever you need. That's what it is. And if we don't know the answer, we'll find out the answer, right? And just one example was recently with the Red Cross. We had a deaf person asking because they needed a fire alarm for their home. And we had to do a search. We started contacting different organizations and trying to find out where we could find those alarms. So we were able to set that up to provide the deaf fire alarms with either a flashing strobe or a bed vibrating thing. So if the fire alarm goes off, it's not just a sound, it's something else that can get their attention.
That's kind of a perfect segue into, I know you all talked about events earlier, upcoming events, and the fire alarm had to do with that. So if you wanted to talk a little bit about what you all have on the schedule coming up.
Yeah, no, you go ahead. Yeah, do some other events too. Yeah. So we have the Red Cross. The upcoming events we're going to have for the month of September. We have the Red Cross Fire Safety Workshop, and we're going to be giving out fire alarms. Then we're also going to have Senior Citizens Craft Day for the deaf. Any deaf, hard of hearing, ages 55 and up. And actually this weekend we're celebrating Deaf Awareness Weekend for the whole month. We're having a picnic tonight, and then tomorrow we're going to have deaf bowling, just to celebrate Deaf Awareness Month.
Awesome. Well, my next question, which I feel like you all have answered already, but why is providing these services to the Tri-Cities region important for those who are deaf, deafblind, and hard of hearing?
I would say it's access. It's access and it's communication. Because without that, we would be stuck. It's just like, we would miss a lot of information if we didn't have interpreters with us. And I can write notes, but it's not the same because you never know. Maybe there could be a misunderstanding or something. So it's always good to have your first language access. So, yeah, I agree with that. First, a lot of people don't realize that for deaf people, ASL is their first, for most, ASL is their first language, and English is their second language. So if they're stuck in a situation where they have to write notes, a lot of them can, and it's fine for some things, not serious things, but they're trying to write notes in their second language, and it's even more difficult. A lot of people don't realize the sentence structure is different between ASL and English. It's very different. Yeah, it's not just English on the hands. It's its own language, has its own grammar, syntax, everything. It's its own language, and it's really cool, but a lot of people don't realize. They just think, oh, you just memorize all the signs and then you can interpret. But there's a lot to it, and a lot to make it change from one language to the other and make it be able to be understood clearly.
Well, you already mentioned the growing deaf population in Northeast Tennessee that you all serve. Do you have a number or have an idea of how many people that might include?
Well, we know that there's 21% of people in the state of Tennessee that have some hearing loss, and we serve hundreds here. So there's a green field to grow more. Probably thousands we could serve. So we're serving hundreds now, but probably thousands more we could serve. And each time we have an event, we're meeting someone new, someone that comes and they'll introduce themselves to us that are deaf or hard of hearing. So it's just so exciting to see that we have new people coming. I think we have some new people coming tonight to our picnic, so that's really exciting.
Well, you all already talked about the future events, so I'll skip that question. But my next question is, how does Bridges East connect or work with other local organizations and groups to enhance accessibility for the region?
For sure. We partner with different events, like we're having a Red Cross, American Red Cross event. They're helping us. We're sort of partnering on an event. Also different places, for example, like concerts or festivals and things. A lot of times we can provide interpreters if they give us maybe they give us some tickets or discounts. We can provide them interpreters at a discount. So it's sort of a win-win, because the deaf people get access to the concert and we get to provide interpreting, and it helps the concerts run more smoothly too. So there's a lot of different organizations that we help with and either provide interpreting for or services for the deaf, and plan events that are more deaf focused. So we're anywhere and everywhere that we're needed, wherever deaf people need help. Also, we're trying to find more organizations we can partner with to try to educate them about deaf culture, because we want, like, some places that are scared to hire deaf people because they're just, I guess it's just sort of an automatic, oh, they're deaf, they can't hear, they can't do anything, and which is not the case. So that's part of, her responsibility and my responsibility to let them know, hey, the deaf can do this. Maybe learn a little bit of basic signs and then they can get a job. So that's another way we partner. We outreach to different organizations. And then we also, we can go to schools and do the same thing, because, to help deaf people get their degree, because they can do anything a hearing people can do. But we go in there, and our goals are sort of the same as the hearing people to be successful.
Well, this was not a question that I had written down, but I was interested in how interpreting service, assigning an interpreter to an event. Is there a staff of interpreters, or how does that happen?
We have, I'll answer that one. We have staff interpreters, and we also have a good list of contract interpreters that work for us, freelancers. And when an event comes in, depends on who the client is, the deaf client, because there's different variations on how you interpret. Some would be more ASL, some maybe more English or PSC, which is pidgin, sort of in the middle. But it just depends on who the deaf person is. It depends on the event. Like if it's a concert, probably I'll go to the concert, depending on who's there. If it's some other different event, we just sort of mix around, and the deaf people can request, I really understand this person really well, so we'll send that. It's really what the deaf clients prefer, and that's who we send, and then whoever would be the best fit for that job. So we get to do all kinds of different things. Like I can be doing a concert one day, and then I'm interpreting in the hospital the next day, and then I'm at a college the next day, and then I can be interpreting at the penitentiary the next day. There's just a wide variety of different places because there's deaf people everywhere.
Yeah, and I know that specifically in Jonesboro, there's the Storytelling Festival and Storytelling Center, and I've also seen interpreters at theater performances as well. So I'm sure that it depends on the venue and the event.
Right, and we try to work out and set things up and get interpreters, because if there's no interpreters there, the deaf person's not going to go. So we try to say, hey, it'd be really nice if you could provide interpreters. Maybe we can give you a discount. Maybe you give us some tickets. And then next thing you know, everybody likes having the interpreter. Because I think the interpreting adds, even if you don't know sign language, it adds something to the performance or whatever it is too. And it also provides access. So the hearing people enjoy it, but it also provides access to something that deaf have not been able to go to before.
So I'm going to add a little bit of background to my last question, but I kind of wanted to see, I see a lot of conversation about the captions for movie theaters. So that was kind of what my thoughts were for the last question, which could be part of that or just in general. I know this is a very vague question, but what are your thoughts on the state of accessibility in the Tri-Cities?
Let's see. How do I answer that? I would say, maybe I'll start and then you can add on. I would say things have gotten better. There's still a lot of room for improvement. There's been some movie theaters that have provided special days with open captions, which is nice. They normally will have a little device that you can stick in the cup holder. I don't know if you've seen those. Those are okay sometimes. It's not. Sometimes the battery dies. Sometimes it falls over, and you miss some of the picture because you have to look. You can't look exactly at it. But just in general accessibility, I would say that places, organizations are getting better. There's still some that think of it as just like a luxury, like something additional. Like, if we can, we'll provide an interpreter, but if we can't, which is not really how it's supposed to be under the ADA. They're supposed to provide equal accessibility, communication, and that can be an interpreter, it can be captioning, whatever, depends on who requests it. But it just would be really nice for places to be ready to provide it. Just be thinking about that. Okay, if a deaf person comes, okay, we'll contact them and we'll send an interpreter. Because a lot of times people think, oh, you just have to know some signs to be an interpreter, and that's not the case. Because like you'll see on TV, because I remember on the TV show Scrubs, I don't know if you saw Scrubs, they had a hospital and a deaf person came, and they're like, oh, the doctors, we don't know sign language. So like, oh, the janitor knows sign language, come on over, you can interpret this serious medical situation. But that's what people think because they see it on TV, and that's not the case. You need a qualified interpreter to come that's trained for that type of situation and to keep everything running smoothly to provide communication access.
Well, I was just going to say, just to give people an idea, I wanted to include if you all had an example of any frustrations you've had in terms of accessibility, just so people can have a clearer picture of what day-to-day looks like.
I'd say the frustrating part is if we request maybe like open captions at a movie theater, and they say, oh, we need more than 10 people, or we need certain requirements, and you have to plan so far ahead of time, and we have to sort of plan an event and get people to sign up just to go to a movie, just because you need 10 or more people, and then it might work. So that's one possible frustration. Let me think. Another thing I wanted to add, technology, just in general. It has come a long way for the deaf community now, technology, because in the old days, we had a little machine called a TTY, and you would put the phone headset on there, and then you would have to type, and that's how we would communicate with somebody. Now we have iPhones with FaceTime. We can communicate through text messaging or FaceTime. And, with technology has come a long way. We have video phones now, too, instead of the TTYs. It's true. For me, I guess, really like doctor's appointments. is really a high priority, because sometimes they don't think about if you show up and there's no interpreter, and they don't think of it as a high priority, and you're just kind of frustrated. Yes, things have improved, because I remember when I was younger, I would go to the doctor. My mother would have to sign. My mother was an interpreter, but after that, no interpreters. So let's see, I did have some, but it wasn't like a guaranteed interpreter. It was hit or miss. But moving back here now, and now, I have 2 babies now, and I go to their doctor's appointment, and I'm always worried. I'm like, I need to be able to communicate. And they already have an interpreter set up. They'll have either a VRI machine, which there's positives and negatives for a video relay interpreter on a screen, because you can just show up and they can turn it on at any time if I go to my children's doctor. So that's just sort of something that's technology has improved, because you can interpret at any time.
Well, I think that's all of my questions. Is there anything else you all want to add or I forgot to ask?
Yeah, I would just say we're just excited to be here and just be able to grow and have enough. I would say that we have more need than we have resources to provide. Before, our resources were very limited and the need was gigantic. So our ability to provide has greatly increased. There's still more we can provide, but a lot of times deaf people would go to the doctor, or they'd go to a family member who passed away. They would go to the funeral home, and the funeral home would say, "Oh, you have to bring your own interpreter." Or the doctor would say, "Bring your own interpreter." They've heard that. You've heard that before. Bring your own interpreter, which is not legal. Also, it's just not nice, because if you had to bring your own interpreter everywhere you went, there's no way you could afford that, and you would just give up and get frustrated. So, yeah. If it's a life or death situation, it's very serious. So, wherever the place is, it's just really important for people to know that they have to provide access for the deaf and hard of hearing, and we don't mind to help and educate and let them know what the need is and how they can help the deaf community, and how the deaf community can help back to the hearing community. So that's just really nice, and we're just excited to keep growing. That's our main goal.
Well, what is the best way for someone to stay up to date on information about your organization? That'll be my last question.
We have a website. We also have social media. We have a BridgesEAST Facebook group, and we also have a website. It's www.bridgesfordeafandhardofhearing.org. And then our Facebook group, we have a Facebook page, is Bridges for the Deaf and Hard of Hearing. And then there's a group under that page, BridgesEAST, and that's where we post all of our events. And if even people that are just interested in learning sign language, can come to our events and learn, and maybe join a sign language class, or just come out and meet deaf people. It's just really nice. And the deaf are very friendly, very open, say, "Hey, come on, we'll teach you." It's a very open, very friendly community of deaf people we have here. One other thing I wanted to say, recently we went to a company and taught them had a sign language and deaf culture class, and how they can communicate with deaf workers there. And the hearing workers there were so happy to learn how they could communicate with their deaf co-workers that they have at this company. And we help them, do their job better, because they're able to communicate with their hearing co-workers. And I just would like to applaud companies that do that. It just really shows that they want their deaf workers there, and they want to take care of them. So I just would really encourage our community, just ask us. We'd be more than willing to come in and talk about deaf culture, talk about how you can communicate with your employees if they're deaf, and they can still be successful. And just that's sort of what we want to see. We want to see them be successful in the workforce.
Well, awesome. I think that's all of my questions for today, but I appreciate you all coming out and being a part of this.
Thank you so much. We
Yeah.
appreciate you asking. Thank you.